Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Ship, and all you ships at sea. It's Monday. Wow, there's a lot going on. Had a long, nice weekend. Cynthia had her birthday. That was nice. And we had Mother's Day. That was nice, too. Uh, as my Twitter family and friends know, I'm limping around in a boot because I tore up my ankle, but that's another story. I'll survive this one. Let's cut to the chase. Iran. Okay. First thing that bothers me that all of this is going on right now when it looks like Congress and everybody's closing in on Donald J. Trump. They're going till Friday to get his taxes and putting out subpoenas and everything else. I've read before, and you can look it up, Google it, or whatever you want to do. Yeah, I prefer using something like Britannica, which is reliable. It's a actual encyclopedia that people can't get in and alter. The chances of starting impeachment or proceeding with impeachment on a sitting president during a time of war is statistically very, very low. It's just something that the American government and American public usually generally doesn't consider when we're really at war. All right, so that's one thing to consider. Getting him out of the White House. Okay, now we've got a lot going on happening in Iran. Pompeo had an appointment with Russia, and he's canceled that meeting and is now talking with our European allies over the things that's going on in the Persian Gulf, Iran, and everything. We found out this morning that some merchant ships, oil vessels, were sabotaged, attacked. From what I gathered on CNN, it possibly was Saudis and the United Arab Emirates involved in that, but they are claiming that Iran did it. So that's really a bad he said, she said kind of thing. Because right now, any false calculation, any bad move could really get this escalated. And then you got people that's supposed to be our allies apparently trying to sabotage this and start it. But that gets back to the differences in the Muslim faith. Sunnis and everything going against the other ones, the Shiites and stuff. And so that's an internal battle that's been going on since that's got started. Anyways, okay, so we had some merchant vessels that's been damaged. And Pompeo is talking with European allies. Not that we really have any good standings with the allies now due to Trump. So I don't know what to say about that. That's not a good thing. Okay, here we go. Number 2, Afghanistan. Let's talk about that for a moment because all of this, North Korea, Iran, Afghanistan, all of this is kind of falling together. Many of you probably know Russia went into Afghanistan and they fought. And they finally had to get out of there because they couldn't win. Russia couldn't win. Now, we've been there for so many years. I believe it's time, past time, that we begin to orderly take our troops out. We don't leave anything behind, nothing. Even if it's broke, take it. Don't leave them nothing that they can repair and use. Just get our people and our stuff out of there and leave them with a friendly but sincere warning that if our intel shows that they've got any plans on attacking America and American citizens, we will pinpoint them and we will bomb them. I'm not talking nukes, but we'll make the earth rattle for them. Simple solution to that. Let's talk about Pakistan. We've been supporting them for a long time, giving them a lot of money and military aid. It's a well-known fact that the whole time we were supporting them, bin Laden was living comfortably about a mile away from the Pakistani equivalent to our West Point. And you can't tell me they didn't know he was there. You know, there's no way. So I think it's about time that we pull the plug on Pakistan as well. We could have a very powerful ally in the area if we choose to really pursue it. And I've been saying this for over 10 years. India. India is large, is powerful, is growing at a very fast rate economically and everything, and it would be in best interest to have them as a good friend, a good ally. Perhaps somebody with some wisdom can get in the White House and Senate and Congress and work towards that. Who knows? It's all up to the voters. Everybody screams about term limits. Problem is, there are term limits. It's called going out and vote, getting really active in it. You don't like somebody, you don't think they're doing the right thing for your area, Congress, Senate, you get out, you rally, you push the vote as best you can in your area to make sure that that person doesn't go back in. That's a term limit. We've always had them. We just haven't utilized them properly. Subpoenas. There's been a lot of subpoenas this weekend. You know, I've been sitting back watching that, and you know, I about spit my beer out when they subpoenaed Don Jr. And it was the Republican Senate that did that. I was like, oh boy, that's a good one. You know, Graham and others are saying, hey, don't worry about it. You know, don't even show up. So that's telling little Junior there to break the law. I really wouldn't want to have them as my attorney because that's some bad advice. We've got the other subpoenas going out to Mnuchin and others. Barr. Funny thing about these subpoenas, they've given it all. They've given IRS and Mnuchin and everything till Friday, this Friday, for Donald Trump's taxes. Now, state taxes and stuff, that's proceeding very well up in New York. But this is different. This is our Congress. This is their intel, and they have not only the right, but actual written law to look at his or anybody's taxes. If they say, I want to see their tax, the IRS is supposed to say, yes, sir, here it is. Not this stonewalling crap. So you got these subpoenas going out. Okay. So Barr and the others, I'm not going to acknowledge that. Well, here's the funny thing about subpoenas. They can start fining them. They don't have to put them in jail. They can start hitting them in the pocket. It's been suggested that fines for that can start at $10,000 a day. Okay, and just in 5 days, that's $50,000. Now, one thing we know about people like Mnuchin and stuff, they're greedy. They're greedy with money. And people like Barr, he's greedy with his own interpretation of the law and how he thinks it should be. Greed can be used to Congress's advantage, actually. They start hitting them with the fines. I personally wouldn't be willing to lose $1 to protect Donald Trump, let alone 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 80,000, 100,000. Nope. And I'm not even greedy. I've been homeless. Cynthia and I make a point of keeping some money on hand if we see somebody out on the street. We'll give them a few dollars. Every little bit helps. We tithe to our church. It has one thing in it that's specifically geared to help people who are hungry or homeless. So that's a good thing. Greed, it never pays off. After all, like the old saying goes, you can't take it with you. Might as well enjoy your life and spread the love. Okay, so that's, pretty much that. Friday's the deadline for the taxes. Speaking of greed, Trump decided to go full speed ahead with his tariffs on China. Now, people need to understand, and I'm sure most people do, the American people pay the fine, not China. Okay? Our prices for material objects and food and everything goes up. It also hurts the farmers and our production, our output, manufacturing jobs and stuff. It hurts everybody. We know right now that there are crops. There's fields out there that have no crops. The farmers are going, well, do I do corn? Do I do feed corn? Do I do soybeans? What am I going to do if I plant anything at all? And it's time to plant now to have a crop. But they've got soybeans and stuff that's rotten right now because it was supposed to go to China. Trade war from Trump stopped all that and is continuing to stop it. So the cost will go up for businesses and individuals. Farmers are really going to bear the brunt of this right now. It's bad. But that's making America great again, isn't it? I don't think so. China has dropped a bomb this morning financially and put its tariffs in place. China has a big population. Now, unlike Trump, who pretty much ended our trans-Pacific trading and stuff, and that's not just China, that's Japan, Australia, the Philippines, everything over there. He pretty much put the wahoo halt on that, so we don't have stuff going out. But China's still selling to Europe, still selling to Russia. And for soybeans, Russia has already said, hey, we grow soybeans. We'll sell them to you. So it's perfect for Putin. And yeah, I look at that. I look at the nationalism. I look at the hate groups that are really going up in numbers. The nationalist, white supremacy, neo Nazis, and Nazis. I saw a thing last night uh, where there's even letters going out and stuff, posters being put up. You have a problem with opioid addiction? Come see us. We'll help you. And then at the bottom, you see it's the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. So the Ku Klux Klan is willing to help you if you have an opioid problem. That's fucking amazing. That if that ain't recruitment, I don't know what the hell is. Then in response to that, you have the time-honored Black Panthers and Antifa. You can say what you want to, and I don't care if anybody gets offended by it. Those groups are just as bad as the white supremacists. All they want to do, both of them, both sides, is stir the shit and fight. They don't want to find any common ground for any of us to proceed on to a good, calm resolution in all of this. This has been around for a long time, but it's been stoked recently with the arrival of Trump on the scenes. When we look at the racism, when we look at the hatred, the militant groups, then we look at the tariffs and everything, and it's amazing if you inherit, which Trump did, a good economy. If you're smart, you don't try to tear it down with tariffs and stuff. If you got something good, go with it. And as my dad said, and I'm sure a lot of y'all probably heard this, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, this is almost to me when I look at all this. People say Trump's stupid. I have no argument with that. But this is almost like he's getting a playbook, play by play, from Vladimir Putin on how to bring us down, top down, bottom out. Best way to take down the nation without firing a shot yourself is to cause anarchy in the streets and to wreck them in their economy. And that's what's happening. Okay, so enough about that. We'll discuss that later. Here's the last thing. Trump is trying to turn the 4th of July into a Trump rally. He wants to move the fireworks close to the river. He wants to speak from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Now, if that's not hypocrisy, I don't know what is. You know, you read your history about Lincoln and others, how the GOP got started. The Whig Party put in a war hero, but he was useless as president, and that was ultimately their downfall. Well, the GOP has put in a Democrat who is the worst businessman America's ever seen, and is probably compromised by the Russians. And his family wants to do deals in China, Saudi Arabia, and everywhere else. He doesn't want to show his taxes. We already know he's a bad businessman, but the taxes are probably going to show that he's getting kickbacks and he's laundering money for the Russians and others. Doesn't want the Mueller report to come out. Mueller never said he was innocent. I'm hoping Congress is going to go ahead and really get serious now. Is it time for impeachment? No. But it's time to begin the proceedings to impeach. It's time to get the full moral report. It's time to get the taxes and everything else. It's also time for them to begin to consider taking some preemptive strikes to try and keep him from starting an unnecessary war. When they do have the power, you can't go to war without Congress. So there's a lot that's got to happen. So this morning, one final note, when the bell rang at stocks, the stock market had dropped to like 457.55 points at the start. I looked about 20 minutes ago and it was already down to 550 something points. And it's probably going to keep dropping. So, make America great. So, anyways, that's all I got to say for this morning. Y'all have a good and blessed day. And I'll be seeing you later. And remember, be good. And if you can't be good, don't get caught. Thus quoth the Raven.